On a frozen February night in 1959, 9 experienced hikers fled their tent in the dead of night, barefoot, half-dressed, and running straight into a blizzard. Hours later, all of them would be dead. More than 60 years have passed, and we still don't know why. The incident took place deep in the Ural Mountains of Russia, on the eastern slopes of a peak the local Mansi people call Kholat Syakhl, the Mountain of the Dead. It was here, in one of the most remote and unforgiving landscapes on Earth, that a routine winter expedition transformed into one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. Led by Igor Dyatlov, the group set out on what should have been a challenging but manageable trek. Instead, they walked into legend. 9 hikers, all young, intelligent, and highly trained, became the center of this mystery. Igor Dyatlov, the disciplined leader. Zina Kolmogorova, energetic and admired. Ludmila Dubinina, tough and outspoken. Yuri Doroshenko, fearless and resistant to cold. Yuri Krivonashenko, playful and clever. Rustem Slobodin, athletic and calm. Alexander Kolovatov, analytical. Semyon Zolotaryov, a war veteran with a mysterious background. And Nikolai Thibault-Brignol, strong and reliable. Together, they formed a team capable of handling almost anything nature could throw at them. Almost. On January 27th, the hikers began their trek toward the pass. Spirits were high. They laughed, took photos, and recorded every step in diaries. But as they moved deeper into the mountains, conditions worsened. Winds became violent. Temperatures dropped below -20 degrees Celsius. Snowfall thickened. On February 1st, they reached the slope of Kholat Syakhl. Visibility was collapsing, and the team accidentally veered off course. With daylight fading, they decided to pitch their tent right on the mountainside. It was a strange choice, but perhaps the safest option under the circumstances. This tent would later become the center of one of history's strangest crime scenes. Sometime between 9 p.m. and midnight, something happened. Something powerful enough to make 9 trained hikers cut open their own tent from the inside and flee into the storm. They didn't take their boots. They didn't take jackets. They left behind food, gear, and even a flashlight. Tracks in the snow showed they walked at first, not ran, but signs of panic increased as they descended the slope. At the tree line, the first 2 bodies were found, Doroshenko and Krivonashenko. They were lying near the remains of a small fire, shoeless, with burned hands, likely from trying desperately to stay warm. Nearby, broken branches suggested someone had climbed the tree, perhaps to look for the tent or something else. 3 more hikers, Dyatlov, Kolmogorova, and Slobodin, were found scattered between the tree line and the tent. They appeared to have been heading back, crawling or stumbling through the snow. They died of hypothermia, but Slobodin had a fractured skull, a serious one, indicating he didn't freeze quietly. The last 4 bodies were not found for 2 more months. They were buried deep in a ravine under several meters of snow. Their injuries were catastrophic. Zolotaryov had massive chest fractures. Thibault-Brignol's skull was shattered. Dubinina had broken ribs and missing soft tissue, including her tongue. Yet none of them had external wounds consistent with the struggle. Investigators noted the force required to cause such injuries was comparable to a car crash. The deeper investigators looked, the stranger the case became. The tent was sliced open from the inside. Some bodies contained traces of radiation. Clothing had been swapped between hikers, likely in desperation. There were no signs of another group, no animal attack, No avalanche. Witnesses in nearby towns reported strange glowing lights in the sky that same night. Nothing made sense. It still doesn't. Several theories have been proposed over the years. Some believe it was an avalanche, but the terrain and evidence don't fully support it. Others point to katabatic winds, sudden violent gusts that can terrify even experienced hikers. There are theories about secret military tests, parachute mines, and shock waves capable of causing internal injuries without external wounds. Some suggest infrasound, low-frequency vibrations that can induce panic. And others believe the hikers fled from something unknown, something they couldn't explain. Every theory solves one part of the puzzle and breaks another. 9 hikers entered the Dyatlov Pass seeking adventure and instead walked into a mystery that has haunted the world for more than 60 years. Their tent still stands in photographs, their footsteps still fade into the snow, and the truth remains lost to the mountain. Even now, after decades of investigations, reports, and speculation, there are still no answers. We've researched this topic from our special archives and explained it to you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video. Best regards, Histoplex.